Find your fucking soul! Hail to the Queen, baby.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Kevin Vonesper. I haven't been doing this in a while, have I? It feels like a long time since I did one of these, even if it was only like 2 weeks ago. Why, you may ask? Well, I did go on a little vacation. I saw some friends and family in Tampa, Florida. I didn't expect that on my bingo card to be in Florida this year, but hey, it happened, and I went to the castle. And it was awesome. If you guys are ever in the Tampa area, go to the castle. It's like their big goth party spot. Check it out. Hello, everybody. What's going on out there? Is everybody staying hydrated this summer? It's a scorcher. Just like this show we're going to have today. It's a scorcher. How's that for a segue? Charles D. Lincoln is on the show today, and we're going to talk about the past, the present, the future, maybe how I started his career in film in a way. I always like to throw that in there. As you saw from the trailer, we got some really cool stuff to talk about. I got my props all ready. Are you guys ready? Do I have my intro ready? I got my intro ready.
VonPod. Welcome to VonPod. I've got chicken heads and deli creeps, scary monsters and super creeps on VonPod. You're listening to VonPod. With aliens and skunk dogs, I hope you're here to chat along to VonPod.
You can watch and chat with us live. Like and share and subscribe. It's always a surprise.
You're watching VonPod. VonPod.
Heyo.
I'm swatting things. I almost got it. There's a little flying creature in my room. It's not big or frightening or threatening, but it is circling around me. So if you see me, it's not me being crazy, okay? What's up, Charles D. Lincoln?
Hey, what's going on? As I was saying to you in our little green room thing about how hopefully it's not a lantern fly, because I saw 6 of them in Brooklyn today, and they're like invasive and they eat the trees, and apparently they leave black mold everywhere. So that's
I think this is just
fun.
At worst a mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't seem. I don't know if we have lantern flies in the suburbs. Do we? Can someone check that? Jamie.
We're not supposed to have them in New York.
Oh. Where'd they come from?
I think China, actually.
Oh boy, we're already in a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
hole.
Exactly. I'm not gonna go into the
Yes, monetize me on YouTube, please. Like, share, subscribe right now. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like 100 people away from 1,000 subscribers.
Cool. Well, then
like, come on.
God damn it.
Like, there's no. You don't have to watch all my stuff. See, I don't think you're supposed to curse in the first 10 minutes either. I'm learning.
Oops.
I'm learning.
Well,
Why did we mess up already?
Did I curse? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so. I think we've been good so far.
Okay, and then
I mean, I don't adhere to these rules very
right.
strongly. It's funny to like have to think about it.
Oh, fudge
You
and
know.
fiddlesticks.
Exactly. Yes, we are so wholesome. We're going to talk about only wholesome things
Yes.
on this episode.
Yes, because there's nothing that anyone associates with me more than wholesomeness, really.
Yeah. I would say just a whole lot of wholesome goodness. This is.
Oh yeah. 21st
There's
Century
definitely.
Demon Hunter. Yep.
There's no cursing.
No
There's
cursing.
no nudity. There's
No gore. No violence.
Yeah,
None of that.
nothing. This is for the
None
kids.
of that. Yep. We recommend it for every second grader.
Yes. Oh shit. Oh, I did it. I broke it already.
It's all ruined.
I was gonna say a great 2-disc set, but I guess I left one of them in the player. So
I was gonna say, I hope the other disc came with your version.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Return. No, it absolutely did.
Okay, cool.
I got my 21st Century Demon Hunter Season 1, the director's cut.
Yep.
So how different is this? I mean, I remember watching some of them when they first came out. Specifically because my song's at the end of one of the episodes.
Yeah.
So that always, whenever I hear that, I think it was the first episode originally.
Yeah, originally it was Pariah at the end of that first episode.
Okay, so I'm not, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's actually fairly different. I mean, I re-edited every episode. We had a bunch of, I love putting my post-credits things and stuff, but we had a lot of people who were like, oh my God, there are all these scenes I didn't know were there, because Amazon, when it was on there, would sometimes skip the post-credits scene.
Right.
Which they still do now. And in fact, I know Netflix does that.
Like that autoplay kind of thing. Yeah, it's such an annoying thing to try to take off. You're like, I don't want to go all the way back to the main menu, but I just want to get out of this thing that's going to skip me. I want to see who this person is in the credits or the music in the scene.
Yeah, there was an episode
I'm
of
a
Black
credits
Mirror.
person.
Yeah, there was an episode of Black Mirror recently that had post-credit scene.
Oh.
And I didn't know that until I read it online that there was a post-credit scene. I'm like, oh, great. So and it's like a three-step thing if you go on Netflix where you can watch a post-credit scene. And so we integrated the post-credit scenes into there. We shot an entirely new episode. There's an entirely new episode too, which we were like, well, let's do something special, and I had an idea for something that tied into the next season of it, because I've had to do so much with this director's cut. Like I recently had to do yet another edit for the streaming version that will be coming soon. So because now streaming
like
has
a technical thing, or
no, streaming has all sorts of like minimum lengths of episodes, and like this was, some of these episodes are 10 minutes, some of them are 40. So apparently, like, I can't have anything under a half an hour, so I had to go combining episodes.
Oh man!
And I had to figure out a way to make it work, narratively.
It's like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, well, because like I had the, one of the streaming people were like, "Oh, we'll do it," and then I heard their ideas, and I'm like, "No, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever." Now, people will just be confused by how some of the scenes will now go into each other. So I had to go and edit it again, and so that's it's fun. It's just fun.
You're the George Lucas of demon hunting show.
If I was the George Lucas Demon Hunter, I'd be like sticking new CG into there every 5 minutes, and ways to put in my weird puppets and
weird puppets. That's the word of the day. What do you mean by weird puppet? I'm a member of the stupid puppet band Green Jello, right?
Yeah.
So when I hear puppets, I got to hear what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, for a second, I thought you were making a Pee Wee Herman reference with the.
I kind of was. Yeah, I think it's permeated into the culture this week. R.I.P. Paul Rubens.
Yep. It's kind of crazy, like thinking about like how 3 people died on that day. Like it was him, it was Fez from the show Euphoria, and then the professional wrestler exotic Adrian Street.
Is there a connection between any of them in your mind?
I don't know. All of them kind of. I don't know much about Fez as a person. I knew his character on the show.
I saw the first season. I
Yeah.
haven't kept up with it.
I mean, there's only 2 seasons, so
Yeah.
you
I
don't
think I
have,
just
you don't
don't
much
have
to
the
catch up
service
on.
anymore.
You don't have much.
Yeah, next time I have that service. What is it?
Yeah.
HBO?
It's
Yeah.
on Max now. Oh no, they
Oh,
changed
right.
it.
Yeah, now it's Max.
Yes. And yeah, because if you're gonna change any branding, let's get rid of the HBO name that people automatically associate all these shows with.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend. And HBO is Max, and now Twitter is X. It's like
Yeah.
they all sound like porn sites to me.
Well, the funny thing is actually, Max has it makes me think of like Cinemax and all like those.
Right,
like,
Cinemax. Yeah, that sounds like Cinemax, not
Yeah.
HBO.
Yeah, with like Shannon Tweed showing off her boobs with like rain.
Skinemax, as we
pouring on
called
her
it
and
as
shit.
children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I remember when we briefly had that channel and I was like 12 and, watching all those like young lady Chatterley's lover and all that other bullshit at like Friday at 2 a.m. when you're like a teenager.
Was Silk Stockings on there? Wasn't that the David Duchovny one?
Yeah, I think that was Showtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When briefly Showtime were like, oh, we can do raunchy too.
Right.
But,
so they were the Skinemax competitor kind of.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like now what's funny is since they changed to Max, I was just reading today how they lost 1.8 million subscribers. And it wasn't even like they didn't even make it like a smooth transition. Like if you had HBO Max, you had to actually still download the Max app.
What?
Yes, you had to download the Max app. You had to put all your passwords into it and stuff. It didn't update to just Max, which would have been the smart, sensible thing to do with an app if you're going to change.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I shit on Elon Musk, because he does deserve to be shit on, I opened Twitter. It's just his X now. They changed it. I didn't have to do anything extra.
Right.
And fucking Max, when they went from E3 to Max, now I have to make a conscious effort.
Yeah, most people aren't going to do that.
Yeah, I have to find
We're really lazy. I don't know if people have noticed.
Yeah, so by the way, I'm sniffling a lot, as I was saying to you earlier. If anyone thinks I did a lot of drugs or something, I have having weird allergies today. So if I'm sniffing, that's why I'm doing it.
Was it the lantern flies? Do they give you allergies?
I really hope not.
Oh no!
I really hope not.
It sounds like something in one of your horror sci-fi novels.
Yeah, that is horror movie shit. If suddenly, these flies invade the neighborhood and we all get sick because of it.
Yeah.
So, because these things are big, they're like water bug size too.
Right. I've seen pictures. I don't want to encounter. I'm still in the city sometimes, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, well, they're. I said I saw 6 of them in Brooklyn today. So.
Oof.
That's not great.
No.
But on to stuff.
Yeah. So this is new, even though the show is not necessarily new, even though the edits are new.
Yeah. And you know what?
Old stuff. Yeah. It's great. I've listened to all the commentaries. It helped me. I think that helps a lot because you have a very vast universe, I would say. And it's like hard to connect all the dots until you actually tell me what dots to connect.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love doing the commentary because there's so many crazy stories that happened in there, or so many weird, little things like, Chelsea going up and down the stairs naked in a cardboard box. And, that was Keith Mackler, who plays, oh my God, why am I forgetting his character's name?
It's okay. I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
And then it's like everyone's got their.
I wrote the character. I should.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't remember all my own lyrics.
The character of Thomas. That's it. It's funny you mentioned that about lyrics because I never remember any of my lyrics unless I'm singing them.
Yeah.
Like that was, like I put on one of my old Dark Eden songs from God. I haven't played it since like 2007 or whatever. And if you ask me what the lyrics are, I don't remember any of the fucking lyrics to it. But I was able to sing along as soon as I listened to it.
It's like, right? I guess like instinct.
Muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Yeah. So
I used to write notes on my bass so I could just look down and see what the first word of the verse is or whatever. 'Cause I just don't want to think while I'm doing something else.
I occasionally would fake it. And I would fake it. I would repeat lyrics sometimes, which you hear vocalists do. If you really pay attention to live albums, you hear vocalists do that all the time. where it's just like, this is the verse I remember. I will just keep repeat. I will just
Sometimes
repeat
it'd
that
be
verse.
like that, man. You're just so in the moment. You're like, where am I in this song?
Oh yeah,
true. It happens.
yeah. Well, I remember I opened for Hansel and Gretel once, and
Me too.
yeah, and they didn't tell me that they were going to invite me up for the encore.
Ah.
So I normally would make sure that I was always like completely sober before any time I've ever been on stage. You know, and if I'd known that they were going to invite me for the encore, I wouldn't have drank.
But their whole thing is drinking. Like they have like beer thing hats and stuff on stage.
Yeah. I was so drunk when they brought me up on stage. They had me do fucking Uber Death Party. I remembered literally just fucking Uber Death Party and nothing else about. And it's like, it's not like that is like really complicated lyrics. But I just went up there and was just like oh my God, there was this pissed off fan in the front row.
Oh no.
I didn't give a shit because I'm a dick. Yeah. But yeah, oh my God, I could tell he was getting so annoyed that I couldn't remember the words and I was drunk and was just repeating shit over and over again.
Where was this?
That was at whatever Batcave became when they changed it. It was
that's funny because I played with them there once and I wonder if it was the same show. Probably not though.
There were a couple different bands. There were like
it was a smack party. Bands. I think it was a smack party I played.
Yeah, there were a couple different bands that played that night. So I don't know. I know that
Skeletal Life. That was my band. We were a Misfits cover band. I think that was the show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I remember Tibby, who our mutual friend, had a Misfits cover band, and I remember
yes, that's right. Yeah, Ghouls Night Out.
Yeah. And I remember I went to see
By the way, guess who's going to be on the show?
Oh, yeah, I saw that in September. Yeah.
So, good. I guess got to get my plug in while we're talking about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember it was like, it was her band playing, but all the other bands were Misfits cover bands. And it's amazing when you see a night of Misfits cover bands because nobody coordinates with each other as to what songs. So there were some songs.
You could even do it by era in some cases.
There were some songs that you heard about 5 times that night. Just different
Skulls.
bands, like Skulls and 20. I think they were like 3 versions of 20 Eyes. Martian. It was one of the things, and we never got a chance to do it because I went deaf at the time. But after seeing that, I remember turning to a friend of mine and being like, we should make a Misfits cover band that only covers the songs that nobody ever actually plays. Like Theme for a Jackal and Return of the Fly. And,
I was going to say like Fiend Club.
Yeah. Oh, no, please.
Like you wouldn't go that deep into the barrel, huh?
Oh, my God.
You have some dignity.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and I can say this now because I'm not in music, so it doesn't affect my career at all. We were invited to open at BB King's for the Misfits with 45 Grave.
Oh wow!
And we were big like Danzig era Misfits fans, all of us, like super militant about it. And, and we were like, "There's no way in hell we're ever opening for for fucking Jerry Only and the New Fits and shit." And then, but we'd love to open 45 Grave, which we did a few months later.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
in New York, was I there?
Yeah, no, we ended up not doing it because I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Because here's what happened. Because first of all, we were debating, okay, well, how are we going to do this? How can we still be like our snotty punk band? Because Dark Eden was a punk band, even if we didn't play punk music. Like we were, our attitude was completely. In fact, that was kind of to me the most punk thing of all, was that we didn't play punk music, and But, our whole thing was, well, what if we all just wore Danzig shirts and we didn't let them know until we got on stage? And so we had all these like little internal debates, and then 45 Grave and had problems with their management at the time. And so they switched management and they dropped out of the show, and that made it real easy for us to drop out. When we were like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. We're not just going to open for fucking Jerry Only.
Funny, we talked about 45 Grave on the last episode of this show too. They've been coming up, man. They've been coming up. Get that Autopsy reissue out there, god damn it.
45 Grave were like one of my favorite punk, like kind of death rock goth, because I consider them the first goth band. I do, and
not Christian Death.
No, I don't. I think Christian Death were more death rock to me.
Yeah.
45 Grave. I'm so honored that I got to open for them CB's of all places.
Oh wow,
Like
I
before,
definitely wasn't there.
yeah, that was amazing to me. That was how I entered my 30s, was being able to, to play like that. That's when it's like, yeah, maybe it's not so bad getting a little bit older, and
Yeah,
and
you know who the 45 Grave is.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not but although I've heard their newer stuff doesn't do it for me. It's all like kind of rock and roll type stuff, and I hate that they did that.
Yeah. Well, they've been through a lot of lineup changes since the 80s, and
Yeah,
just like whoever's in the band at the time and when they choose to record, it's kind of.
yeah, but
I feel I've heard the new band is like really awesome. I don't think they've made any new music yet, but
yeah,
like they're actually like music people who are like,
hmm
the original guitar player for 45 Grave was like a jazz guitar player. What he
yeah,
was doing was like, it was punk rock, but it was like really smart.
yeah,
So most people in that band over the years, I think, haven't really tried to really dig into what's going on there, and
mhm,
these guys are. So that
yeah.
excites me.
Yeah, I hope that they get a little more punk and a little less like just rock band, because I was a Penis Flytrap fan, and I like that they kind of went,
Yes.
yeah, which is another band that people like, there was a band called Penis Flytrap.
Yeah, and I interviewed.
know?
Yeah, I interviewed Leslie for my documentary.
Yeah, and like I kind of hope that 45
Alborian
Grave,
Spivey.
yeah, I kind of hope that 45 Grave would have gone in that direction a little more, and they did. When we opened for them, they played a couple like Penis Flytrap songs. There was
Some of the Penis
Yeah.
Flytrap songs were old 45 Grave songs that didn't
Yeah.
get used. So
Yeah.
there's like, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so but then when I heard their last album, and I was like, oh, this is not. It reminded me of like when the Ramones tried to become like a college rock band for like 3 albums,
Mhm.
like during that, like Gardens of Serenity, and which aren't bad songs, but it's like, this is not what I listened to the Ramones for.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I feel like it was more like a solo album of one of the members that
Mhm.
ended up being rebranded,
Mm.
sort of kind of deals.
Oh yeah.
But that was all over 10 years ago already.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like time for some new shit.
I'm an old person. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the,
yeah.
Sleep in Safety and Autopsy, I
Yeah.
think are just incredible. They need to reissue that stuff. I don't know who
Yeah.
has that stuff or
Mm.
who owns it, but like, I can't
Yeah.
find Autopsy for less than $100, and I
Oh
would
my
like
God.
a real copy of it. And I'd like it to sound good too, if they could
Yeah.
fix that,
What I'm really upset by is that all like the fucking Sam Haines stuff is all out of print.
Yeah,
You
I have
can't-
that
you-
box set
yeah.
of CDs,
Yeah.
and that was like in the 90s.
Oh God, yeah. No, that was 2001. It
Yeah,
was
okay.
2001. I remember distinctly because I bought it the week after it came out,
Mhm.
and then I had the worst flu of my entire life because I was just coming back from London, and my girlfriend over there was sick.
Mhm.
I can't say girlfriend, but girl I was living with.
Right.
She
Sure.
was sick.
Semantics.
Yeah, she was sick, and I had to head back. But I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be seeing you next, so let's have sex anyway. And I had the worst because our bodies are not. There's an ocean between us, so our bodies have not built up the immune system to handle germs from a completely different continent.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And so being like, it was like these English germs that just destroyed me. It was oh my God, I've never ever had a worse flu than when I came back from London that one time. But I remember I stopped right after the airport, and I picked up the Sam Hain box set, and then I passed out for 3 days and didn't get a chance to listen to it until I felt better.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's such a sordid history with all those recordings, and like
Mhm.
Danzig likes to go and
Yeah.
George Lucas that
Yeah,
stuff,
I was
but then
gonna
like
say you're
in the process, like ruining the actual original master tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, I was gonna say you were calling me George Lucas there before.
Oh,
and was
no,
like,
I know.
Glenn
Danzig's-
Danzig is the king of that sort.
oh
of
yeah, Legacy of Brutality is just basically him recording himself over old
Yeah.
Misfits members just so he doesn't have
Yeah.
to pay them and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
what? You
well,
ruined the master tape for that?
Well, now he's a filmmaker.
Oh yes, I haven't listened to it yet, but I saw you did a
Oh,
Veronica
yeah.
podcast.
Veronica is one of the worst things I've
I've
ever
seen it.
seen.
Oh yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
big Misfits fan. I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
all his shit
And here's the funny thing from I'm not going to give any names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I will say I know someone who knows his makeup artist from Veronica, and they said if his number ever popped up on the phone that they would throw the phone out the window.
Oh no!
Because they said let's just say he was difficult to work with.
Yeah, I think that movie needed
A completely
editor?
different director, cast, crew. And,
Here's how I described it to my friend. I was like, that is a bunch of raw footage for some music videos. That's basically what it is.
The funniest thing I've ever read was a review of, the funniest thing concerning Veronica was someone saying, they're in the review, like, I apologize to Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie made some good movies, though. Like, Danzig hasn't proven himself to do that yet.
He made some, and then they kind of got worse as they went on, but...
It's a mixed bag, but...
But Glenn has not even come close to what Rob Zombie has done. In fact, Glenn has not made a good scene.
The Devil's Rejects, that's like...
Devil's Rejects is amazing.
Oh my god. I remember walking out of that movie being like, mind blown.
Yeah, no, Devil's Rejects is one of my favorite films.
I haven't seen I forget what it's called, Danzig's new Western vampire movie. Because it's not like
it is better than Veronica.
You saw it,
but it's better than Veronica.
Because it's not like, I mean, it's been in theaters, but not anywhere else, right?
Yeah, it's better than Veronica, but that's not saying very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, it's morbid curiosity. Like, you got to see what this guy's up to, and like
there's parts of it where it seems like, he had the late Julian Sands in it. It's like, instead of a bunch of people,
is that his last movie?
Yeah, I might be.
Wow, I
would hate to think that.
Oh man, what a legacy! I'm so sorry, Julian Sands.
Yeah.
Is it better than his Phantom of the Opera?
I mean, it's not better than anything except Veronica. I will say that, but it has Danny Trejo. See, it's better, I think, because he actually has a cast who can act this time.
Right, exactly.
We on our podcast, one of the first things we did was I was looking through the IMDb of Ashley Wisdom, who is the lead in the first film.
They're all porn stars, aren't they?
Oh yeah, 100% porn stars, because it's LA non-union, and in New York, if you do non-union, you're going to get theater people, you're going to get people, you're going to get all these people who can still act. You do non-union in LA, it's porn people. That's all you're going to get, and there's. Glenn Danzig hired about 15 almost identical looking blonde girls for whatever reason in that movie, to the point where I didn't realize they weren't the same person until about halfway through the film, when I was like, wait a minute, wasn't her character? Oh no, that's someone different. Like, he just yo, you know what, I'm gonna get myself this girl, blonde hair, tan, big tits, and we're gonna have some skulls and pentagrams in the background. It'd be fucking cool.
Just keep that blood going.
Yeah.
Like, an uncomfortable amount of blood.
And
that
Glenn,
girl bathing in blood, I felt so bad for her. I was like, nobody's there to yell cut.
There's so many. I actually listened to our Veronica podcast, Cinematic Autopsy podcast with Charles and Chelsea Cinematic Autopsy. Episode 1 is Veronica, and I was listening to it, and there's so many things I'd forgotten, about the fact that see, there you go. The second story, it's about 20 minutes of footage of bored strippers and 7 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah, they needed an editor.
Yeah, yeah. The editor, in fact, I was surprised that Glenn Danzig did not edit the movie himself.
He probably stood behind the guy, though.
Yeah, it was apparently the editor had only done one thing before, and it was a Hollywood Undead video.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, I mean, because the edit is so bad, I was 100%.
I met them once.
Yeah, I was 100% convinced Glenn Danzig had edited it himself. But yeah, no, it's whatever guy edited that Hollywood Undead video. And because and the other thing that we bring up at a certain point, because I sort of wondered, do you think there are worse takes than the ones that they use in the film?
Oh, that would be interesting. I mean, I don't know if I'd actually want to see it or not, but
yeah. Because we're just we were thinking about it. It's is this actually? What if these are the best takes that they actually have?
I mean, this is a morbid thought, but when Glenn Danzig dies, you think all these stories are gonna come out like, oh my god, I can finally talk about being in this movie.
I mean, there's all sorts of stories already coming out.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure.
I mean, what's his name? Lyle Preslar talks about his time in Samhain, where I remember the exact quote was something like, me and Glenn didn't get along because I don't want to be a big scary monster man.
Yeah, they wanted him to like dye his
Yeah,
hair black and stuff,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and
It's like
I remember that
not
quote.
like
and
Minor
just-
Threat at all.
Yeah, I remember that quote, and like me and Klebold, my old guitar player, were just thought it was the funniest thing because we're like, oh my god, that completely sums up Glenn Danzig's like image at the time.
But I mean, I respect Glenn for doing it
Oh.
because it's a great image.
Yeah,
It's too bad they didn't work together as a
Yeah,
band. It would have been an interesting
I
dynamic.
mean, it was my look.
It's the
through.
Danzig show, though. It's not
Yeah,
like
it was
Lyle's
my-
going to be writing Sam Hain songs.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was my look throughout high school, so I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. But
Right, right.
but it can definitely be summed into I want to be a big scary monster man. Down to the
Speaking
Yeah.
about big, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you have to look up every picture.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of big scary monster men, the podcast that I did listen to was about Strangeland because I grew up with that movie and I feel like I have a personal connection to it, even though it probably is a really bad movie.
Yeah, it's oh man, Strangeland was
Like I can't believe, first of all, that it's not on Blu-ray or anything yet.
it is
Like there's gotta be it's the last.
Wow.
It was only released like once, really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know it's due for it, and it's probably not going to live up to what it was to me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But it would still be nice to get out there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was just this for anyone who has not seen Strangeland. Basically, just imagine Dee Snider of the singer of Twisted Sister, with a ton of like piercings and tribal tattoos, kidnaps a bunch of people and then forcibly pierces.
Wait,
them.
do I have it over here? No.
Yeah,
I'm doing
he
little
kidnaps
project.
people so he can forcibly give them piercings. That is the plot of Strangeland.
From early internet chat rooms.
Yes.
Which were really the big scary thing at the time.
Yes, exactly. And he gives these just awful speeches, and I don't like they are just. I remember like watching it, and it was just like this movie would be so much more effective if he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like
It's
he's
so funny.
There's no more rites of passage anymore among
Yeah.
age. What? No, stop that now.
It's so funny because I went to some, people who know me know I went to a liberal arts college in Westchester County, if you want to narrow it down a lot. And I had a class about like the body, and I don't know, it was such bullshit, but like it was also fascinating. We actually did study like the people who would like hang themselves on hooks for like meditation and ritual and stuff like that. And that's like exactly what I learned in school, like what he's pulling these ideas from, but then turning it into some like horror character. But I was also kind of like, man, I should get pierced. Like I didn't really ever get into it too much, but at the time I was like, hey, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so you weren't like buying a catheter after that one scene.
No. Not yet.
Yeah. But like Strange.
But I did get into Bile.
Yes.
I love Bile.
That club, it's one of the things that I was always...
That was a real club.
Yeah, but like it's one of the things that I always find amusing about clubs and film is that there's all this crazy shit always going on at once.
Oh yeah.
There's all like, if you go to clubs, you'll find all these things going on, but never in like one room.
Yeah.
In like what,
You got to keep it exciting,
Yeah.
It is a movie.
Yeah, and I
goth clubs in reality are kind of boring for the most part.
Yeah, and that was the thing is I've always like watched all these movies and I'm like, I wish I could go to a club where all this shit is really all going on at once. And but it would like I can't imagine being a band trying to perform while there's like a piercing thing and fire eaters on the other side of the room.
That's I've never seen that before.
Yeah, because it would be taking away from you like while you're trying to perform.
Yeah.
And same thing with like it would just be like really distracting and no one's attention would be any one place.
It is tough. I mean, I guess I've been to similar things. Like I went to Torture Garden recently, and everybody's like the audience is the show. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you are doing the show, it's still kind of just like you're like looking around everywhere.
Was it Torture Garden UK or
No, in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did one here.
Yeah.
I was like, I will spend all this money once just to see what it is, and it's a lot of waiting in line for things. But while looking fabulous, you know what I mean?
That is
It's like this is the most fabulous looking bathroom line and bar line, and then line to get pictures taken, and
Oh man, that just makes me think of my time at Slimelight UK and just what I remember of it, because I was drunk a lot of the time.
What was that? Is that a club out there?
Yeah, it's a club there. It's members only. You're not allowed in unless somebody else vouches for you.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it was just, there was so much crazy shit going on, but it would always be very, like it would as I said, I just have like all these fragmented memories of like, people I hooked up with and bands playing, and because the English, the tube is not like the subway. It stops, I think, at either midnight or 1 a.m. So once, so the club closes at like 7 a.m. When the tube opens up again. So that was a unique experience too, being at a
Was
club.
everyone looking all crazy and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's like, the club, when the club closes and they open the door and sunlight comes pouring in, is kind of a unique experience for a club, because I'm not used to leaving a club, and well, now I am, because I work in film all the time.
Right.
Well, I did before the strike happened. Right now there's no work going on.
I was going to ask you about that. I don't know if you want to just jump into it now.
Yeah, I mean, well,
like, has the strike affected you at all? I don't know. Do you do work outside of, your independent productions?
I mean, yeah, I can't survive off just doing independent productions. So, I work on other people's sets. I do wardrobe. I do, I've done gaffer. I've been, someone actually hired me as a boom operator, which is weird because I'm deaf in one ear, but apparently I did a good job. So,
can you hold a stick?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
But you still have to be able to tell if there's noise and stuff. So, but I guess I did a good enough job with that. But like I said, I work on different people's sets and stuff, on like professional big, things. And there's none of those right now. So it's a lot, like all of us right now are all scrambling for money, and it's not great. But at the same time, we literally have the future from a Black Mirror episode.
I've heard. I still haven't watched the new season. Every time I'm like about to click it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to feel this weird tonight, because I know what these things do to you. They make you feel really weird for a while.
Yeah, the episode "Joan is Awful" is pretty much what the AMPTP, with the major studios, have been offering the unions, where it's like they get to go and and that's the thing. People look and they're like, oh, I don't feel bad because Tom Cruise has all this money. That's not who the strike really affects. It's the working class, blue collar people who this is the only way that they actually make their money by every day. The carpenters, the drivers, the makeup artists, the hair people, like all these sort of people are the ones who, and an actor, like background actors and people who get like under fives, and even people like character actors, like these are the people who are really, really being hurt by not working right now, but they are striking because,
and writers in that
and the writers, because, as I said, the alternative is not only, because the residuals, that's something that just happens all the time. And that's, typical thing that happens with strikes. But the big thing is AI.
Right.
And it's the fact that like the studios wanted to be able to scan extras, and so that they can use their image over and over and over again without having to pay them or consult them or anything like that, which is, which the fact of the matter is you can already make photorealistic backgrounds with AI. So if you have AI actors on AI sets with scripts being written by AI, you don't need crew people.
It's called MCU Phase 6.
But even then, like, I mean, that's the thing. The MCU employs hundreds of people on their sets right now. So I mean, like if you go from that to there's one guy, I mean, Netflix has actually put out a thing recently where they offered $900,000 to an AI director And if you're the AI director, you're probably going to be the only person involved in that film.
Hmm.
And so basically it allows the studios to make more money while not paying anybody, you know, and to just, and you know, number one, they don't really care about quality. I mean, we see the movies now
Right.
made by people, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that they don't care about. And then two, you know, AI gets better as it learns more and more. So, I mean, the scripts AI makes right now suck, but this doesn't get stopped now. 3-4 years from now, you won't be able to tell between a script written by an AI and a person. And so that's what it's to prevent. It's really to save the industry. And people will not be able to make a living from this. And it's kind of just the big corporate agenda that, you know, you get, you know, because they love commoditizing art, but they don't want to actually pay the artist. They want to kind of cut the artist out of it. And that's what they're, you know, that's what this gives them the chance to finally get rid of all those pesky, you know, people who actually create stuff and just make product, you know, which is something that, you know, it's why.
Content.
Yeah.
That's what we're creating right now.
Yes. Yes. But I'd like to think that, like, you know, at least the stuff that, like,
we are not artificial though.
Yes. Well,
we're real.
There's some people who believe that we're all
as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's also, I mean, there we could sure. I don't know enough about it to really talk about it, but yes.
I don't. Yeah, no, I have a friend who believes that, and I just kind of like nod.
It's an interesting concept. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. Well, I don't agree with that myself, but you know, okay. Yeah,
how do you feel about AI in general, despite, you know, away from the corporate disuse of it?
I mean, you know, it can be used as a tool. I think anything. That's the problem is when you get the corporations in there, it's just like when you get governments involved in something. I mean, you know, people splitting the atom, you know, looked at it as, oh, we can, you know, do this and that and the other thing and unlimited energy. And then someone else is like, we can drop this shit on a whole bunch of people and get rid of thousands, you know, we can fuck up a whole city in one moment, you know? And that's what happens with the corporations, governments, and all that. You have anything that's a good tool, you give it to some rich asshole or some, you know, and then they will immediately find a way to profit off it while fucking the most amount of people who are, you know, disadvantaged or poor or whatever. So, you know, that's what we're watching. That's what we're looking at here. Because there's, you know, I mean, there's certainly uses for it.
Yeah.
You know, when we do captioning for like the thing, you know, it used to be one person would, back when it was Amazon, it was me, had to sit down and listen to every single line of dialogue in the film and then transcribe that and what time. Oops, sorry. I hope I didn't give myself a weird noise. But, you know, and what time exactly that was on there. And now AI will do that in like a couple hours. You know, so I mean, that's the benefits of it. You know, it's not complete, but you know, once again,
it's all how you use it. Yeah,
Skynet was supposed to help people, and then, you know, boom, suddenly, you know, we have 4 really bad Terminator movies.
Well, has there been anything out there that's excited you recently, whether it's new or old? Like, what are you into right now?
I've basically just been focusing on my own stuff. I don't really get
me too.
yeah. I don't like listen to a lot of music right now. Like from like new music. The only new music that I really liked was Poppy. Like, and I first saw her through her YouTube stuff, and I'm just like,
my brother's really into that.
Yeah, I'm like, this is so weird, and I love it. And then I got into, like, I heard some of her music because now she was doing like her weird, like, let's mix metal with pop, and you know, I mean, the song Concrete, which starts off really heavy and then sounds like an anime theme song at one point, and then has like new metal breakdown, and I'm like, I love that she just mixes all these different things on there. And she's like covering Jack Off Jill songs and stuff like that. And I
didn't know that one.
Yeah, she did. Oh my God, what the hell is that song? Drawing a blank, but it's the one, I'm not afraid of dying as you know.
I'm not super familiar with this. I mean, I know it, but I don't know all the songs.
But that's exactly why it's so cool.
I know My Cat.
Yeah, but that's exactly why it's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, that she's covering like relatively obscure band from that period.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so I kind of love that she does that. But yeah, I like Poppy. I am amused. Here's the thing: like, I can't call myself a baby metal fan, but I like the
I
ones.
was gonna say, if you
Yeah.
like Poppy, you probably like
Yeah.
Baby Metal.
Like, baby metal is is like, to me, it's like a joke that's funny if you only listen to one or two songs. I cannot imagine listening to an entire album of that.
I saw them once.
Yeah, like to me, it's like, okay, the novelty kind of would disappear if I was to listen like by the third song.
Right.
But you know, it's like one of these things. Like, guys, we get so fucking insecure about that sort of bullshit. Like, I saw all the metalheads like, oh, this isn't real metal, like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, fuck.
Hey,
you
I like
guys,
good
man.
pop
Yeah.
music too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like the same guys who now are like, oh man, I can't believe all these chicks are going to see fucking Barbie. That's fucked up. It's woke bull. Like, fuck you guys, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, just, you know.
I want to
like,
see Barbie. I haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it either.
I just want to take a picture in the box with my pink fishnets. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually own any pink clothing, so I would have to maybe put pink accents on one of the many black items of clothing I have. But
Yeah,
you know,
that
like
works.
but yeah, like there's just so much insecurity as far as anything that might be perceived as not masculine enough. or
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm into that. There's a few movies I've been
Yeah. What are you watching?
God, what was the last thing I saw that I really liked? Certainly wasn't Secret Invasion, because that fucking sucked.
I just watched that too. Yeah.
I'm a giant MCU fan, and I'm like, this is awful.
It just wasn't very fun.
Yeah, like there was.
I was like, this is gonna be fun, man. Everyone's gonna be a fucking
Yeah.
alien, and it's just kind of like, this is way too serious.
Yeah, everything about it. But you know what? Some of the serious Marvel stuff is good. Fucking Winter Soldier was good, and Winter Soldier is done very
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, it all pales in comparison to Guardians 3 anyway, so.
Yeah, Guardians 3. Guardians 3, I saw that and I was just like, I loved it, but I'm also watching it. I'm just like, oh man, I feel bad for all the kids in the audience who are going to be like traumatized now by like, you know.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Like in 20
Yeah.
years, they're going to be like the new alternative.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
like, I saw Guardians 3 when I was a kid and it scarred me for life.
Yeah, my ex and I were saying that, like, you know, some of the scenes in that movie are the Bambi's mom.
Right,
this
exactly.
generation.
Yeah, it really, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's affecting adults like that even.
Yeah. Oh man, no, that movie made me cry. I'm the first to say, man. Like, but I cry at MCU stuff all the time because that's why Secret Invasion was so disappointing to me, because I get so into the MCU stuff. I would love to direct an MCU film. Like, I would love to do, but I would like, for me, it would be, I would love to do something like either really like, I would love to do like a horror one.
Yeah.
You know, like covering like some like Ghost Rider or something like that. Or like, I would love to do one of like something that's just ridiculous, like fucking Great Lakes Avengers or Squirrel Girl or something like that. Like, I would love to do something like that, either something really dark or something really quirky.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm looking forward to the Marvels, but you know, and I'm looking at the Loki season 2 trailer just dropped, and I'm looking forward to that. But
I'll watch it. Like I'm invested this far.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna stop now. But it was a little disappointing.
Yeah, no.
I just thought it was gonna be more fun. I don't know. Is that
like I'll tell you, like like 2 or 3 more Secret Invasions, I would probably stop watching the MCU because I thought it was that bad.
At least it was short. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that bad though, man. Like, you know, Samuel L. Jackson. Oh wow, there's a plane very low above me. I don't know if the people at home can hear that, but
I heard it. Yes.
But yeah, like, you know, like I said, I'm not like, you know, a lot of like horror filmmakers and stuff, they secretly want to be Steven Spielberg. And they're like, I'm doing horror now, but I really want to make like a drama about family or something like that. I don't.
No.
I want to make shit sure that means something to me. But, you know, my medium is blood and boobs and like, you know, and darkness and like the darkness of the inner soul. That's my medium. And you know, and if you look at my stuff, it all.
Yeah, let's talk about your stuff again.
Yeah.
We talked about everything else. It's been a good conversation though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I did watch Bishop's Cove, which is kind of like your latest.
Yep, that's
thing. Tell us
my directorial debut.
I guess here, let me formulate a question around this.
Sure.
What is the message? What is your message through the movie Bishop's Cove?
I would say.
Is there a message?
Yeah, actually, I would say it's a film about people who do the wrong things for the right reasons. It's kind of what we do for love and how destructive we can be when we feel that someone we love has been hurt. And also sometimes the bad shit we put up with, or we suffer through for that. It's it's like it's a dark psychological supernatural kind of film. And it's or as one of my crew people said, what would happen if David Lynch directed Silent Hill? Which I kind of
Sure,
loved that.
yeah.
I kind of love that because David Lynch is a huge fan. Not a huge fan of mine. What the fuck? No, a huge influence.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, David Lynch is my biggest fan.
Yeah.
David Lynch is one of my biggest influences, and Hellraiser and Silent Hill and Martyrs. The original French Martyrs, not the shitty American one.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, but those are the type of films that kind of inspired this. It was also inspired a lot by my time, when I was younger, and the whole squatter punks, and I really wanted to kind of touch what it was like in the early 2000s and stuff. And a lot of characters are based on people I knew and grew up with and stuff. And I tried to capture a lot of old New York as much as I could in the flashback scenes.
Yeah, I do have a question about that, but
Sure.
There's some previews of the movie. Which one should I play? 1 or 2?
Let's play number 1.
Okay.
Just
and
so
we can
people
talk over it.
Yeah, the kind of.
Let's do that. Just because you guys need to get a little sense of what this is. It's pretty dark.
Yeah. So this is our lead, Emily McKinley Hill. And she is meeting, basically she found out that her ex from 20 years ago when she was a teenager is dead, and she's been asked to deliver the ashes to the family. And here's where she meets the family.
Hello? Can I help you? Cat?
Where we kind of present the very first mystery, being the fact that the first person she sees looks exactly like her ex from 20 years ago.
You must be Heather.
And that's Anna Paulette playing both Catalonia and Sibelia.
I didn't mean.
I can say that there's lots of blood, lots of boobs, lots of discomfort in this movie.
Oh yeah. No, it's
all discomfort.
Yeah, it's a movie. I've done previous interviews where the interviewer was like, "I had to go watch a Disney movie afterwards."
Yeah, this is like you need some very wholesome entertainment after this. This will not be on Disney Plus, I believe.
Oh yeah, no, but it goes to some very, very dark places, and so she's about to meet Marquesa and Gabriel. Marquesa is played by this amazing Brazilian, she's huge in Brazil. Nana Govia. And Robert Asensio, who I was actually reading, he just got nominated for a film he did called In Place of Fallen Stars that he directed.
Nice.
I'm afraid the tower is down.
Ominous.
Been like this for a few weeks. No idea when it will be.
I was watching this and I was kind of wondering, do you have a nice, colorful film in you, like a musical maybe? Like, is there a balance to this at all, or?
If I make a musical, it'll probably be like Repo, the Genetic Opera.
I love Repo.
Yeah, because I have a musical idea in my head because I have obviously a song in my heart. But I've always described it as a movie that would make no money because it'd be so fucking weird, and it would cost me like $100 million to do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But it would be, I'm like, I would never be able to do a big movie again. But at least I made something I enjoy.
I mean, Repo, where else are you going to get Sarah Brightman with Ogre from Skinny Puppy?
Yeah.
Like, just that alone. Paris Hilton.
Bill Moseley, who is
Bill Moseley, who's in my documentary, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Really nice guy, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I got to hang out at his house. It was awesome.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's I love the cinematography in this. We had a great DP, Christopher Bai. And the score was done by this guy named David Denyer, who is, I think he just did some brilliant things with the score.
Thank you so much.
Where do you know him from?
He actually saw preview number 2, an early version of it, and was like, "Oh, I want to be part of this film."
Yeah.
So,
Well, I could tell the people watching on YouTube, most of this movie you could not show on YouTube.
yeah, it's it's a very it's a very dark film, as you'll see from some of the little scenes that the little clips of scenes that you're gonna see. And
so,
yeah.
let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more conducive to the rest of the film.
Yep, it's a fun family film for everyone.
Yeah, take all the kids.
Yep, we fully recommend taking the average age of the audience should be between 5 and 9.
Yeah, exactly. For maximum
Yes.
effect.
Yes.
You want the most screams.
Yes. I mean, it's either us or Sound of Freedom. One of the two you've got to take your kids to, I guess.
Right.
Because they're super important films.
Well, what's the plan? Is this coming out anytime soon?
Well, we're doing the festival circuit starting in the fall. So we're still waiting back to hear from what festivals have accepted us. I hope some do. It'd be very sad if none of them did.
Right.
But we worked very hard on it, and I have a great cast and a great crew. And I'm really anxious for more and more people to see the film. It means a lot to me. Like it is, like I did try to, like I said, say something about, just kind of the nature of love and revenge and addiction, and just, while also putting in, there's comments on the shit we did in the Middle East. There's, there's all sorts of, little things there you have to kind of look to the film to see. Yes,
you do have, like, I mean, beyond that kind of stuff, like Easter eggs to the rest of your universe.
Oh yeah,
are there? It's hard to put together, so you gotta help me.
There's one reference to something else.
Okay.
I won't spoil it, but there is
Right.
a reference to something in the Demon Hunter novel.
Gotcha.
That lets you know that it is connected.
I have a question. You were saying before about how you were trying to recreate sort of like the early 2000s and that kind of imagery. Is there, I noticed that all your work does have a specific timeline to it. Like when I was watching 21st Century Demon Hunter,
Yeah.
it's all dated, like when this is happening.
Yeah.
Do you have like a massive like spreadsheet of dates of your universe, or how does this work for
All
you?
in here.
Like is it all very specific, and
Yes.
is it specific to like events in your own life or in the
No. I have I have a very, very specific timeline of everything I write and when it takes place. Because I'm writing the second Demon Hunter novel right now. And that one, I know exactly the time. That one's in 2015. And it's like a month before Theresa Allison. So it kind of ties into, to some of that. And Bishop's Cove takes place.
Theresa Allison, which
Yeah.
is one of your other films with lots of blood and discomfort and vampires.
And I'm also writing a prequel novel to that, which was originally going to be a movie, but number one, it was going to cost us a whole lot of money, and number two, none of us are getting younger. So we were like, let's just make a novel of it and not have to worry about us not looking like we're younger versions of ourselves. So but that one, it takes place in 1972, and it's called Bastille Day.
Okay.
And it's basically about the day that Tony and Allison became vampires.
Ooh.
And I'm sad we didn't get to make it because the script is so incredibly wild that it makes Theresa and Allison look so calm.
Oh boy.
It goes to so many weird and wonderful places, and
at least we'll get it in some form. I mean, who
exactly.
knows? Maybe one day.
Exactly. People will be able to imagine the film in their mind with the biggest budget of all, your imagination.
Well, in 20 years, we'll just make it through an AI machine.
I
So.
hope not. That would be very sad.
Just scan your face now.
Yes, that would be very, very sad. But yeah, so Bishop Stove is going to be my directorial debut. I directed Demon Hunter, but that's the series, so that's different. My next film, I am starting up a new company, Obsidian Amber, with my partner Ashley Amberlin. And we are going to be the first film. We'll have Ashley. It'll have I guess she's officially a scream queen now because she's in a million indie horror things now. A woman named Angel Bradford, who is just a joy to work with. I worked with her on a film called Voyeur recently, and I'm super anxious to work with her again soon.
Nice.
And it'll be called Luna and Persia Go to Vegas.
Does this fit into your universe as all things?
It does. It's a very, very weird story. It was done like I wouldn't even. It's I guess it's horror because there's all sorts of gore and killing, but that doesn't come until towards the end of it. And before that, it's just this weird mind fuck that I imagine college kids will get on a lot of acid before watching.
Nice.
About these two women who are very not classy, who end up basically having a one-night stand with a god. And things just start going crazy from there.
That's a good premise.
Yeah. They meet him at a karaoke night in the South.
What is he singing?
I don't know what he will be singing. I know what he's singing in the script, but I seriously doubt I will be able to get the rights to.
Right.
In the script, I was just like, what's the least karaoke song imaginable? And so in the script, it's Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd.
Huh.
Because I was like, what would be the least fun song to watch someone do in karaoke?
That would be pretty painful.
Yeah, my ex was a stripper, and she told me the day that she pissed off the DJ. And she learned, don't piss off the DJ because they'll play a song that is really not good to strip to. And
good for air guitar.
Yeah, and he played Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd, all like 7 minutes of it or whatever. So that was, and then when it came to karaoke, I was thinking about it, like, oh man, I actually enjoy that song, but that is not a song for karaoke.
Yeah.
That is, no.
I always pick the worst songs for karaoke for some reason. Or it's good to me. Well, I try to avoid karaoke, period.
Yeah.
Unless like
karaoke.
I like to play with professionals.
Yeah.
I
love it. I also love how much it freaks people out when I do it because I do it like I was on stage still.
Right.
So I still have like the aggressive.
Yeah, but most people are not like that. So
yeah. I go
sure,
up there,
every couple of people.
Yeah, I go up there. I'm super aggressive. I'm like in my like positions. I'm like, still fucking.
Well, wait. What's your song?
Oh no, I have a bunch of them. Like I love what was it? Money from Cabaret.
I was gonna say from Pink Floyd.
No. Money, money makes the world go round. Clinking sound. It makes the world go round. I like to do that. I've done a couple songs from the Doors. I also, if any, I've only been able to find it once, but I love doing Painkiller from Judas Priest because I do not have the range for Painkiller.
Yeah, most people do not.
And that's what makes it fun to do in karaoke, is to just try.
Go see Judas Priest with my friend Militia. You'll see someone who can hit that note.
Yeah, like, that is just really, it was one of the things that we always loved doing in Dark Eden is we would occasionally play Painkiller in rehearsal. And a song that we were all like, none of us are talented enough to play this song, and that's what makes it funny.
Right.
Like us trying to, to all of us trying our hardest to actually do it and see how long it goes before the song falls apart.
I once did, just because it was in the book, I couldn't believe it. Three Little Pigs.
From Green.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny because all the lyrics were wrong, but nobody else in the room knew what the song was, so I just looked like super crazy. And it's also like a really long song, and the last thing you want, like, you think it's fun until you're up there and the clock is like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, see, that's one of those ones where it's like I'm really surprised that'd be on there. That feels like one of those
It was
like
weird.
like if I found like a Scatterbrain song or something on there, I'd be like, whoa, what? Like,
Yeah.
why is drunken milkman driving drunk swerves on the curb? Like,
Well, it was a
what?
big hit.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, you know, like, but I mean, it was a hit like what, like 30 years ago or something, though. Like, so
That's when karaoke was famous.
true. You know, like I'd be very surprised to see like Flagpole Sitta now or something like
I
that.
wouldn't.
Like,
I think you could probably find that in most machines.
I guess. But I mean, it was a big song. Like, I love that song.
Yeah, I love that
I've
song
never
too.
done
I should have picked that
karaoke,
one
though.
instead.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
done karaoke. Now that I
maybe
think
someone
about
would know it. You know,
Yeah, no,
disturbing behavior.
Yeah, I do a lot of I do a lot of like musical numbers actually.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
I
kind of
love,
a good way to go because it's kind
Yeah,
of fun.
because
Like
I
I did,
love musicals.
I did Epic by Faith No More once,
Mhm.
and nobody knew that one. I was like, "Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?"
You know,
And then that one's like 5 minutes too, and you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm so sorry."
you know,
And I'm
well,
not a good vocalist, so it's like not
Yeah.
that exciting to see me try.
Yeah, no, like I loved a lot of. That's the thing is like I was I'm actually a more versatile. Well, I don't know now because I haven't really done vocals in like almost 10 years.
Hmm.
But back like 10 years ago, I was actually pretty versatile, more so than even the music that I was making was able to show. There was briefly after Dark Eden broke up, and I had and before Nemesis formed, I had briefly basically I had auditioned for this band that I'm not going to name, but they're a New York band, and they wanted me to come in, and I loved it because it was all this stuff where I had to stretch my range and I had to do like all like these voices that I don't normally do. And that was so much fun for me. But the problem was their old singer was a junkie and he didn't write any of the lyrics down.
I think I know what band you're talking about.
Yeah. So they were like, well, can you make up new lyrics? And I'm like, your fans are already going to fucking hate me coming in here. Like, I have to prove myself as it is. And now you want me to change all the lyrics that they already like. You know, I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not going to put myself in the position now where I'm the guy who like fucked up all the songs that they liked.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, and I'll be the first to say that, like, and I don't say this with ego because right now, if you put me and him, probably he'd be better. But back then, yeah, I actually think my vocals were better on the songs, but I was still kind of making up stuff because I'm like, okay, guys, can you get me the lyrics sheet, please? So I know what I'm supposed to be saying. And then they're like, can you just make up new lyrics? Like, for 16 songs.
Mm-hmm.
For 16 songs that your fans already know and already sing along to.
Well, maybe you could ask the fans.
Yeah. Hey guys, can you tell me what I'm supposed to be singing?
Yeah.
I know you hate me
It's
because I'm
fan
the new
interaction.
singer. Yeah, I know you already hate
How
me
about
because I'm the new
guess
singer.
the lyric and you'll make it like a
Yes.
game.
I'll do the Jerry only thing of holding out the.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
Glenn Danzig said that, where he was like, anytime Jerry, and Doyle said that too, apparently, that anytime Jerry didn't know the words, that's when he would hold out the mic to the audience.
I mean, yeah, they know every one of them. So
Yeah. Oh my God, man, that was one of the greatest things ever, man. Like we toured the South at one point, and there was a song we had just put up back in the MySpace days. We had just put it up online.
mp3.com.
Yeah, we had put it up online like a week before we played, and they knew the words better than I did.
Wow.
Like, I was shocked where I was like, oh my God. Like,
I know MySpace was kind of powerful like that back
Yeah.
then, and mp3.com. I really
Yeah.
miss that site.
Yeah, well now, I don't even know where people put music now, except
I guess
YouTube,
it's
and, like,
Bandcamp,
I guess. But
and then like you got to put it on all the streaming services too.
yeah, I
Which
don't
is
know.
like such a scam, but
It seems like it'd be so hard to like be starting a band now.
well, guess what, everybody? Stay tuned because I'm starting a band.
I mean, that's the thing is like I actually really miss performing, and I would love to put something
Me
new together.
too.
But I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't even know where people.
It's gonna
go
start as a
to find
studio
music
project
anymore.
because I need to build hype before I can actually get a
Yeah.
band together. Like, if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be all professionals and people who
Yeah.
come in prepared and like
Yeah,
know what they're doing.
yeah,
And I'm gonna have to probably pay some of them too. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I am bored with the studio. I am. It's like my other band members always hated recording with me because it's like Charles is gonna be miserable.
Oh no.
Because for me, I love playing live. For me, making an album was making a commercial for the live show.
Right. Well, I mean, I
That's how
guess
I've
the
always
way
looked at
I
that. Yeah.
form songs, like I have to record them first and then I
Yeah.
present them to people. So
Yeah, with me,
and
it's
as an
all
engineer, it's like
yeah.
it kind of comes fully formed.
Yeah, with me, it's all like this. It's all like stuff in my head, unless I'm writing with people, which I love doing. Honestly, like it's Dark Eden, the first album, I wrote almost everything, and I hated that. I wanted to contribute, and then the second album, we wrote most of it together, and I was so happy. My favorite Dark Eden song was the one that I only wrote like the lyrics for and one rhythm pattern at the end of the song. And everything else was written by everyone else. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my favorite song. Because I had the least to do with it,
Well, I guess I'll say it's a project before it's going to be a band. But that's the goal.
Well, congratulations on that. Do you have a name?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure if I want to say it yet.
Okay.
Because it's
got
to come out like a bullet.
I get it.
I'll say that. But I will say on that note, I do have a new solo record that's pretty much done and ready for mastering. It's the second of a trilogy of basically all music that formed through the pandemic period and then took an extra year or two to finish. You know how it goes with art. And also, where's my slide? Tuesday, stay tuned to my friend Jeff Frummis's channel, the Frummis channel on YouTube. We're going to premiere my video, Welcome to My Pity Party, from my first solo album that came out, I don't remember when, I guess last year sometime, or maybe this year. I don't know. All these years, it's time, whatever. It's
one of them. It was either last year or maybe 2020 season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I referred to 2021.
So that's before this project. There's still other music to put out. So don't worry.
And then there's also another Obsidian Amber project that we're working on, but I can't really talk about very much. But it's
you're a secretive like me.
Yes, it's a short film for an anthology film.
Nice.
Basically, it's kind of sci-fi horror thing, and it's absolutely intense and. It's part of this like
intense from you.
Yeah, I know, crazy, isn't it? And it's funny because it's an anthology, and I've seen what a couple of the other directors are doing, and they're doing kind of like campier horror. And then and I love that contrast that people will be watching this and they'll see
that's what's fun about anthologies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like they see something and it's that's kind of fun and blah blah blah, and then they get to mine and they're like, and that's kind of the reaction I want because all my it's always important to me that the stuff I do emotionally affect people in some way. Even Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is definitely comedy horror, but there's still some really serious things there, and there's some. Julie is not a well person. And we go really really into the fact that Julie is not very good, but Julie is also a product of a ridiculous amount of trauma. Because if you were a demon hunter, like, the fucking Buffy, all that sort of archetype, you'd have to be on a ton of drugs and drunk all the time to be able to deal with all the fucked up shit that you've seen.
Well, go for it.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do with Demon Hunter is where it's kind of humorous until you really, really explore what's going on there.
It's like a drug-addled Evil Dead or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right?
Pretty much.
It's like it's kind of funny, but it's also like kind of serious.
Yeah.
Or maybe like the Evil Dead remake, I guess. Throw that in there.
Well, the remake is actually technically part of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, especially now that Evil Dead Rise connected all three.
The 3 books,
Yeah, the 3 books that they showed in Army of Darkness.
But I remember that one had an element of addiction to it.
Yeah.
And like it was a little more serious. I gotta really rewatch that because I only saw it in the theater and I don't think I ever fully absorbed it.
I love the gore in that film and I love the main character. I don't care about any character who isn't Mia.
Right.
That's the problem with it. Like Evil Dead Rise, I loved. It was not as gory as Evil Dead 2013.
Yeah, I liked it.
But I cared about those characters, and that's what made me like that one more than that. The gore wasn't anywhere near as good, but it had more connection to the character, and that's what I try to do with my stuff. It's always super important to me that you have a connection to the people you're seeing in there. because if you don't have a connection, then you're just watching plot for plot's sake. And I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. I mean, when I see Avengers Endgame and I literally cry every time I see that movie, it's because I've made a connection over 22 movies with these characters, and like, to me, I think that that's something else so many directors, not just in indie stuff, but in mainstream stuff, forget. That it doesn't matter what your plot is if no one cares about your characters.
Right.
But I don't know. I like the character of Mia. And Jane Levy, I know, said that she won't do horror anymore after that.
Too many buckets of blood.
Well, she said she spent 30 days having pools of literal swimming pools of blood dropped on her.
It's a lot of blood.
And having to run 12 hours a day and having falling off of stuff and and she was just like, it's too much abuse. She's like, I love watching horror and I will continue to watch horror.
Sure.
But I don't think I could be in it anymore after that experience.
Here's a question from the audience for you.
Sure.
What would be the ideal atmosphere for viewing your films, in your opinion?
I mean, hopefully
chained to a wall. Naked.
Yeah, I mean, however people want to watch my movies, they are welcome to watch them. Ideally they would be in theaters where I can actually, I mean, that is one of the great things about doing festivals. We did when we did Theresa Allison, the horror festivals, we did New Jersey Horror Con and Days of the Dead and all those sort of things. It was great to watch them with an audience. To me, that is the ideal thing. I was always raised with cinema. But watching them at home isn't bad either. I just, maybe I'm old, but I don't understand people watching movies on their phones. But I mean,
I see people in movies looking at their phones now. So
that usually means they're not into the film that they're supposed to be watching then. I don't get it. To me, I can't even look at porn on a fucking little phone. I don't understand.
Got to get a big screen.
Yeah, I need a big screen for everything. Like I think I'm just because I'm old and all these kids do everything with their little smartphones now. And I mean, but hey, someone wants to watch it on a smartphone, once it's available for a, stream or purchase or whatever, that's fine. I just couldn't do that myself. For me, ideally, the bigger the screen, the better. If there's an audience of people there with you, that's even better.
All right. Now maybe I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
We'll see. I didn't quite finish it, but I did get your book.
Awesome.
21st Century Demon Hunter, which is the sequel to the series.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
I am so close. I'm on book 3, chapter 11.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's I loved writing that. That was so much fun for me.
That's a big.
Oh yeah.
It's a big book.
Yeah.
Although it's deceiving because some of the chapters are a couple lines.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're reading a lot, even if you're just hey, I read a chapter today,
I mean, that was kind of the thing is, we wanted to just, make it kind of a format in there. But yeah, no, I love that book. I actually, it's one of the things reading it back, I really enjoyed it. And, the series came from when we were looking to do the front cover. And that's kind of how I met Chelsea. Chelsea's on the left and Casey Marie Ecker, who plays her sister, is on the right.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. When we were doing the cover, I was auditioning people and stuff, and and I figured, okay, maybe Julie will do cameos and some of my other stuff every now and then. And that's when Chelsea was like, hey, have you ever thought of doing a web series about this? And I was like, I have not. But
so the book was written before the series?
The book was written before the series, so
But it takes place after the series.
Yeah, it takes place after the series. Yeah. So that's what I pretty much decided to do. Was I was like, well, if I'm going to do a series, let me have it leading up to the novel.
Gotcha.
And
more of that timeline stuff, man. It's just
and the series came out first. The series did come out first. In fact, before I had that published, because basically I delayed publishing the novel so that
Because
I
of
could get
the
it out
series?
after the series. Yeah,
Mm.
because that was
So how long were you sitting on this thing?
probably about a year and a half, I'd say.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and I was kind of, in fact, I had to do a final like canon sweep before I published it. Where I
Right.
was like, okay, stuff I've established in the series that contradicts this. Is there any of it? And there wasn't very much. There were a couple of things here or there where I'm like, oh, well, I have to change that now, But for the most part, and I added, there's a character that makes tiny little appearances that I don't even think we named her, but she's from the next episodes that aren't out yet. That we'll hopefully have out.
So there's a season 2 coming?
There's 5. It's a mini season. It's a 5-episode mini season that takes place after the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then before book 2? Is there a book 2?
That leads into the second book. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's one where we shot with an actual crew, and because we wanted to shoot that one guerrilla style.
Yeah.
Because I felt that it was best for us to kind of be as like DIY as possible while also being kind of a tribute to a lot of the horror stuff that we enjoyed. So we kept it low budget. We kept it, like very lo-fi. And then the new one, because now the stakes are higher, and now it's Julie dealing with like gods and, shit like that. That's where like, all right, well, let's up the budget a little bit.
Right.
And have it like look more professional. And it also there's a Theresa Allison crossover that happens in one of the episodes.
Okay.
There's one in the original series, but this one's a lot more canon. Meaning it changes the canon a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun.
It's a fun read. I thought what would be fun, because if we talk about the plot too much, and people who aren't familiar, they wouldn't really understand what's going on. But I did, whenever I saw something of interest to me, I highlighted it.
Okay.
Maybe it's just like I don't know. We'll see. Let's go through my highlights and see if it sparks anything. Good conversation. So this one is finishing up a song that sounded incredibly like Agnostic Front's Existence of Hate, but was apparently called Watch Your Back. That's very specific. Is this based on any real band, or?
It's kind of just like there's
I love the details like that.
Yeah, there's a couple hardcore bands that I really like that I'm friends with. The problem is when you're friends with hardcore bands and you see them live, you also have to see the other bands that play that night. And there are so many bands that were just like, we're just going to be Agnostic Front and just we might as well just be playing Agnostic Front covers and just change the titles. And they always have titles like Watch Your Back and like shit like that, like it's all that like, fucking support the scene type, shit. Like a lot of those sort of like touches like that for me are kind of my nods to people who are in the scene. Like,
well, that's why I was popped out at me. I was like, I wonder if I know this band.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, because it's not any one band.
There are references to bands in here that I know, that we know, of course.
Yeah. It's like, it's not, that one is not any one particular band. It's more of like an amalgam of like so many bands I've seen in this. It's kind of like when I first heard The Exploited, I was not a fan of theirs because
there's a whole bunch about them in here too, right?
Yeah.
So what's the deal with The Exploited?
I was not a fan of theirs because I had heard so many bands that ripped off The Exploited that by the time I heard the original band that it came from, I was like, well, everything I'm hearing on here, I've heard this already. It's just I had heard it from the bands that ripped them off.
Right.
But it's one of those things where like so many times in music, I would see people who would just like their entire identity of their band was somebody else's band. And, with Dark Eden, we occasionally loved slipping into Slayer. We had the song Somebody Else's Problem, which we pretty much were like, all right, let's just go full on fucking Slayer with this, just because we had all the influences and other stuff. So we're like, let's just make a fucking Slayer song. Fuck it. And that's fun when it's one song.
Right.
But when your entire identity is basically just like, oh my God, and so many bands would do it with Agnostic Front, death metal bands did it with Cannibal Corpse. All these bands would just be like, well, let's find the one song that I like and make every song sound just like it. It's kind of the AC/DC effect, where AC/DC
Right.
AC/DC wrote a really, really good song, and then
100
decided to
times.
play it over and over again for like
Yeah.
for like 15 albums.
Yeah.
You know,
I love this. Don't be coming at me all Wendy O. Williams when your ass is Katy Perry. I wonder how many people had to look up Wendy O. Williams on that one.
I hope I introduced
And then-
them to someone.
And then there's another one here. This. I knew we were in the same era. That makes me kind of like Straight Outta Compton, and you like, please hammer, don't hurt him. It's like I remember that. Oh
Yes.
no, you're not even please hammer, don't hurt him. You're Ice Ice Baby, which I could recite every lyric to that song because of when I grew up. So
Yes. But yeah, like to me that whole thing was basically like, saying that, I was like, how can I just, because I talk with pop culture references all the time. It's one of the things that anyone who has known me for years and years and has spoken to me regularly, if you read Julie's dialogue, it's pretty much just like talking to me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because I say shit like this all the fucking time. Julie is basically, if me and one particular ex-girlfriend were one person, that Julie is who we'd be.
Speaking of references for the New Yorkers, there was a special of 5 shots for $10. I knew exactly what that was.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. the Continental.
Yep.
I've started at least one night like that. Or ended, who knows. Oh, then there's stuff just like Dimensional Tear, 95 Baruch Avenue, 9J, Manhattan. Like, that's very specific. I didn't check it out on Google Maps, but would that come up as something?
I don't know. It might have.
Really? Like, it wasn't a specific reference to somewhere you've been?
No. That was, it was specific neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Specific neighborhoods, but like,
Really?
because one of the things is I hate when I remember seeing the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie End of Days.
You know what? I've never actually seen it, but I remember the Guns N' Roses song from it.
Yeah, and there was like, I think there was like a subway station at Prince and Houston, and I'm like, Prince and Houston don't intersect. What the fuck is this shit? And that bothers me so much when I would see stuff like that. So I always try to make sure if there's a location in my stuff, it's at least a location that you could, if I don't, you can at least go there.
I wonder if that's someone's apartment. Like, if this book ever blew up, people would be like just showing up at this place.
Well, let's not bring that up. I don't want to get sued.
There's a dimensional tear in your apartment. Right. Just kidding. Don't go to 9J.
Yeah.
Whatever, Baruch Avenue. Then another one, Warehouse, Long Island City, 45th Road, stop on the 7th. That sounds very specific, although that is the entire area.
Yes, that is exactly that area. It's not a specific warehouse, but it's that area.
Did you have a specific warehouse in mind?
No, it was me just basically, I used to be a messenger back in the day.
Oh, so that came from you, her other profession.
Yes, exactly. Some of the things that she goes through are 100% things I've gone through. The her having a guy like not wanting to give her money, and her having to put her front leg in the car door to stop him from driving off. That was a real story from my first week as a messenger.
That's rough.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Schenectady, upstate. Any specific connection to Schenectady?
Not really.
Okay, it's just a funny looking, sounded an upstate town.
It was more of like, well, it's far, and it would be difficult to get back without like a train ticket.
Yeah, here's one that spoke to me directly. It was 80s night at the Pyramid, and downstairs was some goth event or the other. Yes. I've spent most of my weekends of my 20s right there.
Yeah.
Going between those two parties.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was just like, yeah, okay, I know that one.
Yeah, I went to those all the fucking time.
Yeah, we probably crossed paths and didn't know each other yet.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm sad Pyramid's gone, honestly.
Well, it just not as the Pyramid, but it did just reopen as a venue. I forget what it's called. They apparently renovated it, and now it's going to be a live venue again. Like it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Before my time there. But I do watch Nirvana and Guara and Red Hot Chili Peppers there playing there on YouTube. It was the spot.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm kind of excited to check it
Is it
out.
going to be music we're going to like, though, or is it going to be
That's
like?
a good question.
That's the question.
I mean,
if it's like salsa night on like
that also
Avenue A,
depends on what bands are trying to play there. What is the scene? Is there any good bands in the scene?
Yeah, like because if it's like gothy and 80s, I would love that, or like punk and metal, whatever. I would love that. Like
they should keep at least one night 80s night. I mean,
hope.
it's like it's always
synonymous
been there.
with the venue,
yeah. Let's see what else we got here. How you doing on time? I know maybe we'll close this out. You could aim for like 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah. I can talk for another like 15 and a half hours.
This was funny because I was reading this in the airport coming back from Tampa like last week, and we were going into the Westchester airport, and it said off to the Westchester Mall and White Plains. And I was like, that's kind of exactly where I'm going right now.
There you go. Yeah.
So lots of New York references.
Oh yeah, it's right what you know. My stuff is always very New York.
Here's a Gigi Allen reference. I don't know if we talked about this before, but what's your opinion on Gigi Allen? Because it says here he was a mental case that threw shit.
Yes, that's exactly my opinion of him.
That's what I thought.
Yes, that Gigi Allen was a mentally unwell person that people took advantage of by stuffing him full of drugs and being like, let's look at this guy do fucked up shit. Like I saw a video of him and it was like him with a fan. And he mentions that he hasn't eaten in 2 days. Because the guy's like, hey man, are you going to shit on stage tonight? And he's like, well, I haven't eaten in 2 days. And the guy's like, well, I can like get you like some money for like a hamburger and some laxatives. And I'm like, dude, he just told you he hasn't eaten in 2 days and you're concerned about him shitting on stage. Fucking give him food so he can fucking eat, man. He's a human fucking being. And I think that's the problem with Gigi Allen is so many, I think, fans took advantage of this guy being mentally ill. And
he was a normal dude once who wrote normal punk rock songs.
Yeah. And
that were actually pretty good.
Yeah, and he got worse as time went on, and people loved the novelty of like, oh man, he's this fucking crazy rebel. It's like, no, man, he was a guy who needed help. The guy who needed help, and none of you fuckers helped him. You all made it worse because it was entertaining.
Well, I think they're making a movie about him now.
Well, maybe can it star one of the Skarsgårds, and he can just be beautiful.
Oh yeah, that'd be probably.
They can get Margot Robbie as Lisa Suckdog Carver, or something. And then, by the way, I love them as actors. I'm just like when I saw what the fuck movie was when I saw I, Tonya. I love that movie, but I'm like Margot Robbie is so attractive. It kind of defeats the purpose of playing Tonya Harding. People gave Tonya Harding shit because she wasn't conventionally attractive.
Right.
And now you've made her like one of the hottest women in all of Hollywood.
Talking about growing up in the 90s without saying you're growing up in the 90s.
Yeah, well,
I remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was big news back then.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I'm anxious to see what the Gigi Allen movie will be and how incredibly attractive he will be.
Well, it's interesting, at least from a filmmaker's point of view, that the guy who made the Gigi Allen documentary made the Joker movie,
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that's a glow up.
I mean, what's his name? Jonas Ackerlund, who made Lords of Chaos.
Right.
He used to be a member.
I think he's making it. Maybe he's making it.
Maybe. Oh wow, that'd be cool if he did. Because he.
Let me see. I know his name came up somewhere recently.
Because he used to be in Bathory. He was in like the original black metal, the second like black metal band after Venom. And now he's like this, like world-renowned director.
Yeah, it is. Gigi Allen biopic coming from Lords of Chaos director Jonas Ackerlund. So he's actually making this.
There you go. So I think it'll probably be at least somewhat accurate as far as lore goes.
Yeah,
but
did you like Lords of Chaos?
I really enjoyed it.
I'm like not as close to the music to like know the specifics, but I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun, and I thought they captured a lot of like just the embarrassing shit about that scene, like the casual Nazism that is in the black metal scene, where people were like, oh, you're a vegetarian, yeah, like Hitler. and like, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember when people would say lame shit like that. And I think they'll manage. I think he'll definitely manage to capture that with Gigi Allen. But I also imagine Gigi Allen will be beautiful. He'll get like Bill Skarsgård or someone like that. And I also seriously doubt they will be able. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll CG his penis.
Oh yeah, because he is naked like all the time.
He's naked all the time, but also
yeah.
no human man has as tiny a penis as Gigi Allen.
He has a pretty small penis.
Yeah, one of my friends said it best when he was like, "If my penis was that small, I'd be angry too."
But he liked showing everybody it.
Oh
so
yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, I really enjoyed Gigi's music, but Gigi was a guy with a lot of fucking issues that no one helped him with, and that's my opinion on Gigi Allen.
Fair enough. See, I knew this would provoke some discussion.
Yes.
And this, I totally missed this. Apparently, it's a lot tamer these days. But I saw my pictures of my mom's C-squat days. It says in here.
Yeah.
I know about it more than I've never was at the real C-squat.
I haven't been to it since it got like bought out by the city or whatever and made into.
Aren't they kind of in Brooklyn now? Like it's not.
No. I think it's Avenue D now.
Okay.
Or Avenue
so
C.
they did move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not. It's. I haven't been there. I'm told that it looks like an acceptable. Place now. I remember the days when like. I remember having to cross a board over like a fucking giant hole, like with a bucket near there. So, like I've only been there a couple times, but I remember that distinctly. Like just being like, okay, wow, this is
What about this place, Webster Hall? Pretty much the exact opposite.
Yeah. Oh, Webster Hall.
I was just like, oh yes, I've seen some of the best bands of the world in that room. I never really experienced the dance party part of it because that's not really my scene, but I know that's like the scene that you're referencing in this book.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. I remember the first, I like going to clubs and
sure,
I
was more like maybe in the downstairs party, like in the studio space.
Yeah, like I've been to both areas. I've been to like upstairs and downstairs is where you get a lot.
I've even been to like the little room on upstairs. That place is like a fucking maze.
Oh yeah, no, it's gigantic.
It's huge.
It's gigantic. I don't know what it's like. See, that's the thing. Like, all these fucking places are all. They're all gone now.
That one's still there, isn't it?
I don't know. I've walked past
seen a lot
there.
Of shows there.
I've walked past there and not seen the line that I used to see all the time back when Webster Hall was. If it's open when it was at its peak. It's like
I haven't seen shows happening there.
Yeah,
so
I haven't seen. But that's the thing. I haven't really like gone out to clubs in a
right.
while.
We're old now. See, we're not the target market for shows anymore. So maybe they just book bands we don't care about now. I don't know.
Entirely possible. But yeah, I mean that was the thing. Like with Demon Hunter, I'm trying to capture a specific time. Specifically 2015.
Right. Yeah.
When all these places were very much around. Same thing with I did a lot of research in Bastille Day in 1972, where people were going, because the default when people hear, oh, it's the 70s, is everyone's like, oh, it has to be Studio 54 because that was the most popular place.
What about CBGB's?
Yeah, well, that's the CBGB's I don't believe was around in 72.
Oh, I guess maybe it's not that old.
Yeah, I don't think it.
Where was the club those days?
Oh man, I know Plato's Retreat because I know that's where my parents met. That was a swingers club back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right about that.
Yeah, and my dad at one point actually used to, and Galaxy 21 as well as the club back then in 1972. In fact, no, it's Galaxy 21 they go to because Plato's Retreat hadn't opened yet in 1972. So I mean, like, I do so much research into shit. I talk to people from that time. I asked them, like, I remember I had a whole conversation with my stepmom about how people used to pick up each other in 1972. Because I wanted to know the details of like how different it was from how we did it in the 90s and how I assume kids are doing it. Kids now, they do it on their fucking phones and they're not catfishing each other, But like I wanted to know like the details because like to me it's fascinating. Like the mating rituals of young people change all as time goes on over and
Sure.
over and over again. And so finding out a lot of the stuff in the 70s and kind of putting that into the story. And a lot of it is based on my memories of being a kid. I mean, I was a kid in late 70s, but I still remember that kind of time period.
Mm-hmm.
And which is funny because you also, when you do research, you learn how much shit got invented since the time, like there's so much stuff where
Right.
I was like, oh, 1972, they had Walkmans, right? And no, they did not.
That was more of an 80s thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 1979, I believe.
Yeah.
The
Sounds
Walkman was
right.
actually, and like the Polaroid camera was not invented yet.
Right.
Well, it was invented, but it got sat on for like 8
Hmm.
years or something like that. Because who was it? Canon or some? No, what? I don't know if it was Canon, but one of the other
Kodak?
Kodak was who invented it.
Yeah.
But they sat on it because they were like, well, no one's going to want a camera that just develops right away. And then Polaroid got huge by selling it. And so, it's things like that you learn when you do all this research into stuff. Because I always try to do, I start with the scene in my head. Like here's my writing process. I will have a scene. I'll have a conversation between two characters or three, whatever. With Demon Hunter, it was Julie and her roommate right at the very beginning, where the weird demon creature is in their living room. That was the birth of Julie right there. And then a story came from around that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'll do that, and then as I start writing, I'll start doing research as to what time does this take place in. Sometimes
ChatGPT would be really great for that kind of research.
We're not gonna employ the fucking Skynet onto our shit.
Yes, talk to humans also.
Yes, But yeah, I mean, so that's just how it's also funny, by the way. I was just thinking of someone once was telling me I met a girl and she was like, "Yeah, my friend is writing a vampire story in the 70s. You should read it." And I'm like, "Why?" Like, if I'm writing one, why do I want to read somebody else's? Like, I could either, the only two things you can possibly get from that is learn, steal their stuff or learn what not to do.
Right.
Otherwise, why do I want to read something that's similar to a thing I'm doing? So, and of course, her vampires, of course, were in Studio 54 because, that's just that is, to me, that is the laziest, easiest thing. And I've always said my vampires aren't fucking classy enough to go to Studio 54.
I know, man. Those are some bougie vamps.
Yeah. Like I fucking, like that's what that says to me. Is that like, they were, hanging out with, my fucking vampires would have, like, fucking Tony from Theresa Allison would have wanted to punch fucking Andy Warhol in the face. Those were not like fucking, we're going to go to the hottest fucking club that all the celebrities go to. That's like, I hate that shit. It's like, I mean, like hey, I went to Limelight a bunch of times, but
I've only been there as a mall, but I know I used to work right around the corner from it. So
yeah, I went to Limelight like in my late teens and like 20s when like shit was going on, and I remember some girl changing in front of me, and her friend is like, "You can't change in front of here," and she's like, "Oh no, every guy here is gay. Don't worry about it." And I was like, and she's like, "My God damn it! I picked the one straight guy to change in front of," and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Charles."
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's just the kind of place it is, though, isn't it?
It was that kind of place. I remember like me and a friend of mine like drunkenly like wrestling while singing MDC's "John Wayne Was a Nazi." Just all sorts of fun little things there, and and then obviously the first time I ever had sex in a club was at Limelight, and
and now it's a gym. What is it now? Is it even anything now?
Isn't it a gym?
Yeah, I think that's
was
the
a
last I
mall for a
heard.
while,
Yeah,
and
I went and looked
now.
around at the mall once, and I was just like, this is so bizarre.
Oh, I looked in the door and I was like, I want a firebomb.
I mean, I had never been in there before, so I was just like, well, I might as well just at least walk around.
It made me angry to see it become like the fucking... By the way, also, funny thing, I had a story one day where I had a character who was a demon who was talking about places in New York, and she was going to go to the Limelight, and only to see that it's a mall.
Mhm.
And then literally as I was writing that, fucking Venture Brothers had that exact joke.
Aw,
And I was like, God damn it.
damn.
You know, but
No, but I did see Michael Ehrlich at parties that I was at before he died,
yeah,
after he got out of prison.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad
Yeah, I
thing.
was
I'm just
gonna
saying it's
say-
a thing that happened, and I was just like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know a lot of people who wanted to fucking kill him after all the shit.
Oh, he
happened
was
there.
around. He was hanging out.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
very low key about it. He didn't look all crazy and stuff,
yeah,
you know. But
yeah,
I was just like, that's him right there.
yeah. But yeah, like that was the whole thing. Is like when I was a younger, prettier man. Now I'm a grizzled, older gentleman and pillar of the community.
Right.
But
Wholesome.
yes. But either now I either get like fucking well man, you look like John Wick, or start now that the beard is thicker and I'm starting to get Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows, which
Oh, yeah.
I don't see. I'm like, we have a beard and
Yeah.
hair. I don't see the resemblance, but okay. Bat, like
It's
I
a great show.
Yeah, if
Movie,
people
whatever.
want to say that, I would have thought if you're going to compare me to anybody on the show, I would think Nandor, but like as far as physical looks, but whatever.
At least it's a vampire.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be compared to like Guillermo.
Yeah.
But it was a very different time, and I think like I try to write for the time, and whenever a story takes place, I try to either a lot of the stuff takes place at times that I was at, or or times that fascinate me that I can talk to people who are at.
Yeah, well, let's see. This must be, I think this is revealed later on, but for the purpose of entertainment, you referenced that Awful Black Flag album. That must be very personal opinion.
Which Awful Black Flag album? Do I specify?
Well, it is, I think, mentioned later on, like a different chapter.
It's said by someone. Who
Right.
is very into pop music.
Yes. And
about
speaking
how-
of pop music, here's a pop reference that I didn't understand. Too Hot for You, is that a real group? It was sandwiched between Taylor Swift and Katy Perry.
I'll just say they're a
And I was like, I don't know
big,
that one.
They're a big part of a future Demon Hunter novel.
I was gonna say, this seems like world building to me. I was like,
yeah,
I caught that.
Yeah, no, actually, it was. I'll just say we were looking for people to help record a boy band song. So Too Hot for You is.
I picked it up. I was like,
Too Hot for You are one of my fictional bands, like the Nemesis Sisters.
nice.
Or the band that gets mentioned a lot, which is Bobby Steele's Landlord.
Wait, that's a band name?
Yes, that's a band name.
I think I just read that as. Wait, that was in Bishop's Cove, right?
Bishop's Cove. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you were actually just talking about someone knows Bobby Steele's Landlord.
Well, Bobby Steele's Landlord. If you ever speak to Bobby Steele, and if you do, I'm sorry.
I have very briefly once or
did he
twice.
mention his landlord?
No, we didn't get that deep.
Okay.
But I
I'll
have
just
seen
say-
his band and
I'll
stuff.
just say everyone who ever had an extended conversation with Bobby Steele knows about his conspiracy theories about his landlord.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you get a chance to interview Bobby Steele, and also I will probably have to leave because he'll probably kill me if he found out I named that. But it was.
Would he know you specifically?
I mean, we've met, but I don't think he'd remember me. Like we've met
Right.
once. I'm probably like one of 50
Yeah,
million
exactly.
people
Yeah.
he's run into over the years.
I mean, he was in
Yeah, he was in the Undead, and but Bobby Steele's
some other punk band in the 80s.
yeah. But if
70s.
you were around the punk scene in the 2000s, maybe even late 90s, but I heard the story in the 2000s. You heard about his conspiracy theories about his landlord, and Jerry Only was conspiring with his landlord.
I'm sure.
And yeah, like all these weird, like, okay, Bobby. So it kind of became an in-joke with me and one of my old bandmates.
That's funny.
We were going to create a side band called Bobby Steele's Landlord.
I did note that in the Bishop's Cove when I watched it.
Yeah, and so that became like a running joke. That I will just say, I will never name the band.
Mhm.
But I will say the Bobby Steele's Landlord story is a real story told to me by two of my friends on a band in New York.
Sure.
I won't say what band it was.
Well, maybe it's one of these bands. Let's see. Here's where it is revealed, the Loose Nut album. So do you have something against that album?
That is
or
my
what?
favorite Black
Oh,
Flag album. But
okay.
that character is not
Gotcha.
someone that, because remember, it's Julie made that character listen to, as
Right.
she calls it, the awful Black Flag album.
Right.
But that is, it's Julie's favorite Black Flag album because it's my favorite Black Flag album.
Right.
But that character hates Julie's music.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I gotta mention this just so I can plug it again. And then you say, and had started working her way through Reagan Youth's catalog, and then hey,
There you
come back September
Yeah.
21st. We'll talk
Yeah.
about Reagan Youth.
Yeah, and that was literally just because as I was writing the novel, Acid Rain was playing as because I have all this stuff on shuffle, and Acid Rain started playing, and so it's like, all right, well, the character while they're doing this thing, kind of, Julie kind of singing songs she knows to herself, and so now, and oh God, I can't actually tell that story, but yeah. But there, I was gonna say there's another reason for it, but Timmy asked me never to tell that story, so I will not tell that story.
Yeah, I'm wondering where to lean on that episode because I mean I've known her for a long time, but I could make this sort of controversial if I wanted to. I feel like there's enough things in her life that are
yeah, well, I mean, I love Tibby. Tibby's fucking
awesome.
Like,
no, I don't know what she would, or if she would even think those things are controversial.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear the interview with Tibby. Tibby's fun. We had her on the podcast, the Cinematic Autopsy podcast, where we had her discussing Return to Living Dead with Chelsea and I. And she was a fun guest to have on there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's going to be just my history of working with her, going back to X Possibles and Gash and Kissy Kamikaze. I used to film them, like all that stuff.
Yeah, like Tibby's awesome. I always
she's on my record. She's on your record.
Yeah, it made me sad that Tibby and I never got a chance to like be in a band together. Like we did one song together, and I love that song. I love that song because like that song came from. We talked about doing something together for years and years and years. And then finally when I had Nemesis, I was like, all right, let's do a song together here. And we were just going the opposite of what, normally it's like, well, you get the chick singer, so it's time to do the power ballad or some close my eyes forever type shit. So we were like, let's do the opposite. Let's just do this like weird ass fucking song with blast beats and all these, like 10 different verses and like, and then the part at the end of the song that is just designed for people to like murder each other in the fucking pit, So that was, but
mine was a pit starter song too. That's what you used in the 21st.
Yeah. I love that song. I really love that song. But like,
there is a version where she sings the whole thing. I don't know if we ever mixed it down, but we did have her do the whole thing. And
cool. I'd be interested in hearing that. Actually.
Yeah, maybe for the reissue. Hey, that album's almost 10-year anniversary next year already.
There you
go.
There
Jesus
you go.
Christ.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Tibby's voice. Like Tibby.
It's so. What's the word? The unique timbre.
Yeah. And like that's the thing. Like I would still listen to Tibby's music if I had never met her and never been her friend.
And that's how it started for me. I was a fan first.
Yeah, I had seen her on Rules Like Ozzy, which used to be a Manhattan public network.
Oh wow.
Public access show. And then about like 2 months later, I ran into her at the post office.
Oh, okay.
And we had both kind of had stuff on public access, and we both were on MySpace, and we just recognized each other at the post office. We were mailing out CDs of our respective bands.
Which band was she in at the time?
She was in X Possibles.
Like the original or the reunion?
I don't know the original X Possibles. Yeah. We've known each other like 20 years now.
Yeah.
Over 20 years. I think this was like 2001 or so. And
probably like 15 for me or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and we were just kind of like, "Hey, are you Tibby?" And she's like, "Yeah, are you Reverend Charles?" And I'm like, "Hey, yeah." And we kind of just like exchanged CDs, and that's how our friendship was started. But yeah, no, like Tibby's awesome. Like I said, my one big regret about not doing music anymore is that like I never was in a band like with her on a long-term basis.
Yeah.
But because I always respected her as a musician, and she's always been You know, like she's always been just wild to like talk to and just, you know,
yeah.
And plus it's kind of neat to like speak to someone who like gets all of like my fucking references, which is so rare.
Oh yeah, she would get all
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Yeah, you know, now
I
that
mean,
I'm,
some of it's about her band, so
you know, so
well, a band. How do you want to, however you want
Yeah.
to say that? Reagan Youth.
yeah, you know, so I mean, like, yeah, it's a lot of that. But yeah, so before because we're gonna be wrapping up soon, as you said. So I just
Yeah.
want to kind of promote that you know, the Theresa Allison DVD is out.
And
You
Blu-ray.
can, yep, you can purchase it on Amazon.
Yeah, where's the
or-
preferred place you want people to get your stuff? Because I did get it from Amazon. I think.
Amazon's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's on Walmart. It's anywhere you can get DVDs. It's neat. It's I like that it's not us putting out a DVD where we have to give you a specific website that you have to go to. Like you can literally just pick this up from anywhere.
Mhm.
You know, if it's not at a store, you can special order it. You can go online and get it. You know, the 21st Century Demon Hunter DVD is out there, DVD and Blu-ray, and yep, there we go.
I swear it comes with 2 discs.
Yes, Chelsea and I, we went all out on that one to give people as much as possible and make it as great a package as we could. Excuse me, and that will be on streaming hopefully before the end of the year. In longer episodes, it's like gonna be 6 episodes, but all 13, the stuff of all 13 will be in them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
And then of course in the festivals circuit coming in the fall. And if you want, I wish I had. We haven't been accepted to any yet. I don't get the notice until next week on some of them, and then all throughout August I get more and more notices. So hopefully we are in all of them. Or even, you know, however many we're in, I will be hyping that up on.
That's for Bishop's Cove.
Yep, for Bishop's Cove. You know, because we're really anxious for people to see that film. It's great, you know, just dark, fucking, as I said, Hellraiser meets Silent Hill meets like Lost Highway, you know, and
crazy,
it's and it's just a very cool, you know, meets like fucking Requiem for a Dream, you know, and it
ass
is
to ass.
Yeah, well, there's no ass to
No,
ass
I know.
being in there, but yeah.
I just when you say the name of that movie, I have
you
to,
automatically think ass to ass.
you have to.
The way the old man says it in the fucking movie. But you know, and like I said, that will be coming out in festivals, and I really am anxious to see that with audiences and stuff. And yeah, so Obsidian Amber, which will be my new production company, we will be putting out and both things will be in 2024, 25, I believe. We'll be seeing that, and who knows? You might even be seeing some stuff that.
And hey, you got a podcast too.
Yeah. There's
Beyond the Bell.
Yep, Beyond the Bell.
BELLE.
Yep, my wrestling podcast with Ashley Amberlin, my Obsidian Amber partner. And you know, who knows? I actually just worked with Chelsea recently, so you know, you don't. I was in Girls Who Walked on Glass. I acted for her. She directed it. And you know, you never know. There might be some more CL Squared stuff that we can't talk about. So who knows? But right now, we're both focusing on our other stuff right now. And yeah, so look forward to those things. You said you wanted to perhaps go over something before we finish up.
Yes. I felt like we should end this kind of where we began, which was this music video that I directed for Tibby on a one-off dance project, I guess you would call it.
DJ
Sexy Satan. I don't know. Yeah, was that what it was called?
Something
I know
like
the song
that,
was called Sexy
Sexy
Satan.
Satan,
So,
yeah.
Let's just run some commentary.
All right.
Because this is always a fun watch for me.
Yep. So there's
look.
Tibby.
I have that cup right here.
There you go.
Yeah, I still have it. Well, there was a bunch of them. I gave some of them away.
There you go.
That's a thrift store find.
Yep. Here is Tibby just being all sexy as all fuck.
Hey, there's me being sexy all fuck. Yeah.
There you go. You are being. Do you remember the movie that she said inspired this? Because there was a movie.
I can find it.
There I am as a pirate.
Yes. And how did this experience influence you? That's what I want to get out of this.
Yeah, okay. Well, it made I was like, I had fun during this. I should start getting paid to do this stuff. And it kind of made me look into going into film. My dad had always wanted me to, and I had been holding back. You know, and Man, Tibby looks so fucking great with the black hair, man.
Yeah, and I think we shot some of this in my apartment, actually, like
Yeah.
that black and white stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just like an empty room in my apartment.
Yeah, and then some of it was at that hotel, I remember.
Yeah, most of this was
Yeah.
in that hotel room.
Yeah, and we see Paul from Reagan Youth, Paul and
Right.
Cripple, and Beatrice from Madame St. Beatrice.
Madame St. Beatrice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I love
There's
the,
yeah,
yep.
with the eye.
Yep.
Well,
You know.
did you bring this character to this? Or
I have not. This was basically just my father had died about a month ago from when we did this, and I had posted kind of a tribute to him while wearing that outfit, because I was like, that's kind of how you want to, you know, my dad was kind of an adventurous, crazy fucking person, you know, so it's like, you know, that's how you celebrate him, by like being as wild and debaucherous as you can.
that's a drag queen named Isis Vermouth, I believe. Go follow them on the social medias. It's always a good time.
Yeah, like I remember when we shot this. This was, and those if you see me with the little finger gloves, those are the ones that Madison wears in 21st Century Demon Hunter. When as Desiree. But yeah, no, this was yeah. See, that was a young Charles.
And those flashes of red, I think that influence for me was World Inferno Friendship Society albums.
Yeah,
they all have red eyes.
My ex was super into.
I know, that's how I knew her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Separately.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot. That's back when I had piercings. I took all my see the nails that Desiree uses in Demon Hunter. Because those actually were an ex-girlfriends that when we broke up, she just kind of left those at my apartment.
I guess I'm being sacrificed. I don't really know the story, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I
think I'm Tibby now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to you can ask Tibby.
That's a good question. We're gonna explore the lore, and I did answer I found the answer to your question. It was called The Curse of the Crimson Altar.
There you go.
Also known as the Crimson Cult, I believe.
Yes, the Crimson Cult was.
And it was Christopher Lee, Boris Karloff, Barbara Steele, Michael Goth. Right? Is that how do you say it? It's a pretty weird movie.
Yeah. Tibby had told me to watch that before we did the video. So, the Crimson Cult was the title that I remember.
Yeah.
When you said it, I remembered that.
I know it like when I see it. I just have to look up the actors' names.
Yeah. Yeah. That was during Christopher Lee doing just his all like occult thing.
Yeah, 1968 British horror
68.
film.
Wow. So
yeah.
Was it a Hammer film?
I don't think so. No, American International AIP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had I had so much fun doing that video that I was like, hey, let me see about getting paid to do this, and I went into the wonderful world of film.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Me? I did not.
Yeah. So I will say, everyone.
I mean, I guess I'm a freelancer, but I never really got into the industry.
I'll say, so when you go see Bishop's Cove and you leave and you are very upset and depressed, you
just blame me.
Blame Kevin.
Yeah, but blame me by making a comment in the comment section. So at least it helps me in the algorithm.
Yes, there you go.
Right. Everybody like, share, subscribe. Oh, let me promote my other upcoming, not just Tibby. I am also having other people on the show next week. And I actually got to go watch it after this ends. I don't know how to describe them. They're called Negative Hate, and they've been around since the 90s. They're a local band to me, but they were also in the New York industrial scene. And their new music video just came out today, which I filmed, and I did not edit it, so I haven't actually seen it yet, but I'm sure we will watch it on the show and talk all about it next week. And this is a band that used to play at the Pyramid. You know what I mean? Like in those like early 2000s industrial goth days.
Yeah.
So, and then speaking of goth DJs, DJ Sean Templar is going to be on the show. Full disclosure, I now work for his party, the Red Party. I do photos there. It's the first Saturday of every night at the Mercury Lounge. It's my favorite goth party.
I think I've been to it once. It was actually a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
fun.
been going for like
Yeah.
15 years now. I was actually at the first one ever. It was at the Orchard Bar back then,
Mhm.
and they were playing, I believe, Haxon in the background.
Mm.
You know, if you know that
Yeah,
awesome film.
yeah.
Anyways, his Murder of Crows festival is coming up. It's a bunch of 2-day goth band festival. It's at the Bowery Ballroom. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about how Trent Reznor hit on him once.
Mm.
So teaser there. Do you know Zora? Religious to Damn, Azure Swan.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
This is like, I don't know why my shows are getting all gothy, but they are.
Mm.
This is like the underground of the goth scene, I would
Mhm.
say. I just filmed her at St. Vitus where this picture was taken.
Mhm.
She was opening up for Lydia Lunch, who was also a guest on her record. So if that
Yeah.
gives you any indication of like the New York underground
Yeah.
here,
I mean,
you know.
I mean, I have to say, back in the day, I was kind of self-centered. I didn't really
That's fair.
like. I'll say there was someone from a very known band that I hooked up with at when Convergence came to New York, and me and her had hooked up. I had no idea that she was from a well-known band, and like apparently we were like a power couple to like all these people who like oh my god, you two know, like, you know, like you two are a thing. And like me and her kind of turned to each other and we're like, "Oh, you're in a band."
That's funny.
So she didn't know me, I didn't know her. It was like the opposite of Tibby.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's interesting things going on here, so check it out. I'm telling you, even if you don't know my guests, the shows will be interesting. And then, of course, Tibby, as we've been talking about all episode. Samantha Riot, another friend of mine. Spoken word, real underground New York stuff I'm getting. So just stay tuned. Oh, this is postponed. Gravity Kills.
Yeah.
Just announced their first show in 11 years, so things are going on there. The reissue of their first album just came out on vinyl a couple weeks ago. And then another postponed. We'll get them eventually. Jane Jensen from Romeo and Juliet, and also punk rock band The Dolls, and solo artists, and maybe there's some collaborations in the works. Maybe we'll see. Cool. Yeah. And then of course Tuesday, go to my friend the Frumes, FRUMESS channel. He's got interviews with Bobby Steele on there. He's like the Misfits guy on YouTube.
Maybe he can talk about his landlord.
Yeah, should I ask him about it?
Yeah. As long as you don't say I told you to.
Okay. Well, if you're following me here, maybe we'll see if it comes up.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much my news. Stay tuned for lots of new music and projects coming your way from me and from Charles D. Lincoln, as always. Where can they find you personally? I got your Instagram in the crawl here.
Yeah, you can find me at on Instagram at charles.d.lincoln. You can find one of my production companies, CL Squared Productions, at CL Squared Productions, one word, on YouTube.
No
Facebook.
Numbers, right?
Yeah, no numbers, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find my Patreon at Charles
That's what
D.
I was
Lincoln.
Going to pull up here. Yes,
yep,
Patreon.
Charles D. Lincoln. You can get all sorts of fun stuff in there.
What's going to be happening here?
Weekly shout-outs, wrestling watch-alongs, previews of films coming up. Both Cinematic Autopsy and with Chelsea and Beyond the Bell stuff.
So that's about female wrestling. I kind of stopped watching wrestling in 1994. Like, what should I look up? What's the female, like if I was going to get into female wrestling now?
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is the woman that you should watch right now. Rhea Ripley is basically if like China had actual skills and was like this Australian like metalhead girl.
All right.
You know, who she's amazing. And then also there was Becky Lynch from like 2017 to about 2020 was really, really amazing. And she was basically like a female Stone Cold, pretty much, if you want to describe it.
Why a podcast specifically about the female wrestlers? Was there a niche there, or?
It's because number one, we felt that like there's so many podcasts that are just wrestling in general, and then there's also a lot of podcasts where it's guys who just kind of scoff at women's wrestling and don't really give it the respect that it deserves. When I've found that a lot of the women these days are so much more exciting to watch, and their characters are better, and their skills are better, and everything. Like, I mean, not saying that men's wrestling all sucks, but there's
Right.
so many women's wrestlers who aren't getting their due. And so that was kind of the goal with that podcast, was to kind of give, kind of basically talk about, what we felt was kind of an underappreciated aspect of
Nice.
professional wrestling.
I know this
'Cause-
is. I gotta ask. Even though it was the previous season, I saw you did an interview with Tracy Nix.
Yes.
Did you know her from the New York scene before that?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I know her from when she was a little
Yeah.
goth kid.
Yeah, we knew her from the goth. I knew her from the
Yeah.
goth scene.
She had a
And-
different name back then.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Different names. One of
Yeah.
them is now a famous social media platform that I won't mention.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God! If she had taken that name on all those platforms, she'd be like a billionaire right now.
Yeah, like I know she was we talk about when she was Tracy Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
But she had a different club name too. Like
Yeah.
when she was like a dancer and stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny too because there's a wrestler named Joe Gacy who is now in NXT, and
Okay.
they did a couple shows together, and she said that like, oh, we used to tell people we were cousins.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. But it was great to actually talk to Tracy and like watching her journey.
Yeah, I've been
Now as
watching
a
it too. I
professional
mean,
wrestler, it's awesome to me.
yeah, I've seen a couple people like that, and it's just like I'm not really watch wrestling, but I see it in the periphery of the people I know. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it was wonderful to be able to talk to her.
Wasn't she holding a belt now or something? I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of indie feds, so I don't
Right.
know if she has a belt in any of them. But yeah,
Well,
no,
congrats
Tracy's
to her
awesome.
either way.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember her as a little goth kid, and
Mhm.
it's great to see people
Yeah.
glowing up.
Mhm.
All right, I think we did it.
All right, woohoo!
So check out all the things, like, share,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe. Come back next week for Negative Hate.
All right,
See ya.
bye everybody.
Subscribe, comment below, like, share, subscribe, comment below, like, share, subscribe, comment below, make me a sensation.